Hello everyone. In last lecture we discussed about the reproductive system. In that reproductive system, the primary sexual characters and secondary sexual characters. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the major point from this topic, that is the human male reproductive system. So before to start our today's lecture, let us come to know this diagram which is blank, and there are certain numbers are given 1, 2, 3 up to the 10. So these numbers indicates the parts of this human reproductive system, that is the human male reproductive system. So what is the structure of human male reproductive system, what are the parts associated with this human male reproductive system, and what are their structural peculiarities that we are going to study in today's lectures. So let us start with our lecture. The male reproductive system, it consists of two major parts. There are two major parts. Number one, that is reproductive tract, and number second, that is the accessory glands. So in this lecture we are going to discuss only about this reproductive tract, and about the accessory glands that we are going to discuss in our next lecture. So let us come to know this reproductive tract or parts of this reproductive tract. Before that, the human male reproductive system, in human male reproductive system, the main reproductive organ is, or the gonad is, testis. So this testis, it is the important structure which is associated with the human male reproductive system, and this testis, it is situated in the sac like structure, it is called as the scrotum. So let us come to know what are the parts of the human male reproductive tract, or the first part in the human male reproductive system. The reproductive tract, it consists of a variety of parts like scrotum is there, then testis is there, then vasa efferentia, epididymis, vasa deferentia, ejaculatory duct, urethra, and penis. These are the various parts of human male reproductive tract. And there are three accessory glands are there, like the seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and Cowper's gland. So let us come to know one by one the human male reproductive tract. The first feature associated with the human male reproductive tract, it is called as the scrotum. So here the diagram which is given, it has certain labels, and in these labels the scrotum, where is that scrotum is present. Here there are two lobular structures are there. This one is there, another one is there. So these lobular structures are called as the testis, and around these testis, the pair of testis, the pigmented skin like structure which covers these testis, it is called as the scrotum. So first part in the reproductive tract is scrotum, and the characteristic of this scrotum is it is the pouch of pigmented skin, and which is arises from the lower abdominal wall. And this scrotum, which is the pouch of pigmented skin which covers these testes, the scrotum, it is covered by the wall of dartos tunic muscles, which is the type of smooth muscles. And these dartos tunic muscles, or these smooth muscles, it divides that scrotum into two compartments, that is the right and left compartment, by the muscle septum. So that muscle septum separates that scrotum into the two compartments, that is the right and left compartment. Then what is the importance of this scrotum which covers the testes? The importance of scrotum is that scrotum, it protects the testis as it is present around the testis, And the most important feature or the importance of scrotum is it acts as a thermoregulator. That means it maintains the temperature about 2 to 3 degrees Celsius temperature of testis for proper functioning of testis. So what is the major function of testis? Testis function is production of sperms, that is the male gamete, by the mechanism of spermatogenesis. So for the spermatogenesis or sperm formation mechanism, the scrotum, it maintains temperature inside the testis. It acts as a thermoregulator and it maintains the temperature about 2 to 3 degree Celsius. Then let us come to know the male gonad or the next part in the reproductive tract, that is the testis. So here one there is testis and here another one is testis. What is the testis? Testis, it is the primary sex organ. Primary sex organ. They are soft, smooth, pinkish, oval structures about 4 to 5 centimeter long, 2 to 3 centimeter wide, and 3 centimeter in thickness. So these are the dimensions. That is 4 to 5 centimeter long, 2 to 3 centimeter wide, and 3 centimeter in thickness, having extra abdominal position. And the junction or the contact between the scrotum and testis is that testis, it is suspended in the scrotum with the help of spermatic cord. And what is the importance of spermatic cord? That spermatic cord, when the sperms generation takes place, the sperms carries with the help of that spermatic cord, and the connection between the scrotum and the testis, it is by the fibromuscular pouch, and that fibromuscular band or the pouch, it is called as the gubernaculum. It is called as the gubernaculum. Then let us come to know about the interior of this testis, that we are going to study later in the transverse section of testis, but let us come to know the some features in the histological point of view. That is, inside this testis there is presence of many, that is 200 to 300 seminiferous lobules, and these seminiferous lobules, at the posterior side there is presence of retitestis, and in between these lobules, that is the seminiferous lobules, the spermatogonia, nurse cell or Sertoli cells, they are present. All these features again we are going to repeat in transverse section of testis, so don't worry about that. So let us come to know the internal features of the testis. Inside the testis there is presence of 200 to 300 seminiferous lobules and the network of retitestis at its posterior side. With that seminiferous tubules, there is presence of spermatogonia, that is the sperm mother cell, also the nurse cell or Sertoli cell, and in between the adjacent seminiferous tubules there is presence of interstitial cell or the cells of Leydig, which plays a significant role when that cells of Leydig or interstitial cells in the seminiferous tubules, they develops the male reproductive hormone after the puberty in male, that is the testosterone. This point is very much significant. How or from which part of the testis testosterone hormone generates or produces? The answer is interstitial cell or cells of Leydig. So inside the testis there is presence of variety of structures like the spermatogonia, then seminiferous tubules, then nerve cell or Sertoli cell, interstitial cell or cells of Leydig. So all these structures, they are present in the or inside the testis. Let us come to know about the position of testis, where the testes are present at the fetal life. when the life of that organism or the male develops at its developmental stages, at the fetal life, the testis develops in the lumbar region, that is in the abdominal cavity below the kidney. During the 7th month of its development, that testes descend down into the scrotal sac through the inguinal canal, and with the descending position of the testis in the scrotal sac, another features like the peritoneum, blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves, vasa deferentia also descended down in the scrotal sac. So the testis, which is covered by the peritoneum, that is the tunica vaginalis, which indicates that the abdominal origin of the testis. If that testis fails to its exact position, then if the failure of testis descend down from abdomen into the scrotum where the testis is present, then it leads to the sterility in that male, and that condition is called as the cryptorchidism. So it is all about the features of testis, the some features which are related with the internal structures in the testis and the position of testis, and one more point related with the testis is cryptorchidism, where when the testis position is not proper, then it leads to the sterility in that male. That male, it is not able to fertilization mechanism. Let us move towards the next part in the reproductive tract, that is the vasa efferentia. So again, let us consider or concentrate over this diagram. So that vasa efferentia, here it is vasa efferentia. That vasa efferentia, here one testis is there, here another testis is there. So from each testis, that pair of structures or the ducts arises, which started from the reti testis, and then it enters into the next part, that is the epididymis. It is called as the vasa efferentia. या ठिकाणच्या पार्ट वरती कॉन्सन्ट्रेट केलं पाहिजे आपल्याला. वासा इफरन्शिया म्हणजे काय, ह्या बाजूला एक टेस्टिस आहे, ह्या बाजूला एक टेस्टिस आहे, आणि ह्या टेस्टिस मध्ये असणारा जो काही रेटी टेस्टिसचा भाग आहे, ह्या रेटी टेस्टिस पासून ह्या दोन पेअर ज्या आहेत, इकडून एक पेअर अराइज होते, इकडून एक पेअर अराइज होते. that two ducts, pair of ducts, it arises from the reti testis and it further opens into the epididymis. So that vasa efferentia, it is made up of 15 to 20 convoluted ductules, 15 to 20 convoluted ductules, and that vasa efferentia, which enters in the region that is epididymis, it is from the part of the epididymis which is called as the caput epididymis, or the region of head of the epididymis. So when that vasa efferentia arises from reti testis, then it enters into the epididymis through the piercing of tunica albuginea, that is the layer or the covering of testis. Then it enters into the caput epididymis or vasa caput epididymis of the caput epididymis of the epididymis region, which is the head region of the epididymis. Then let us come to know the structure. It is called as the epididymis. Again, here it is epididymis. It is the C-shaped structure which is lying along the posterior border of each testis. The epididymis is highly coiled structure having 6 meters of the length. Then epididymis, it is having the three regions. Number one, upper wider head or caput epididymis, where the vasa efferentia enters. Then second, middle narrower body or corpus epididymis, and last one, that is the lower tail or cauda epididymis. So let us come to know the regions of epididymis. Number one, upper wider head or caput epididymis. We know that it receives the vasa efferentia from Testis. Importance of wider head or the caput epididymis is, in this region the sperms undergoes physiological maturation, and in this region that sperms acquires the motility and fertility capacity. Then second part, that is the middle narrower body or corpus epididymis. Third part, that is the lower tail or cauda epididymis. And the importance of this lower tail or cauda epididymis is, here in this region the sperms are stored for short period, and after that cauda epididymis, that sperms enters into the next part in the reproductive tract, that is the vas deferens. So what is the vas deferens or vas deferentia? Here it is one tubular structure of vas deferens. Again here it is one tube-like structure of vas deferens. The vas deferens or vasa deferentia, they are pair of tubular structures which arises from the epididymis. That is the lower part of the epididymis. It is called as the cauda epididymis. And the length of this vas deferens is about 40 centimeter long. They are having 40 centimeter long tubular pair of structures which arises from the cauda epididymis. Then these pair of tubular structures, it enters in the abdominal cavity through the inguinal canal, and they ascend in the form of spermatic cord, as the sperms which are generated inside the testis, they carried with the help of this vas deferentia, so it is called as the spermatic cord, and in the urinary bladder, and posteriorly it opens into this urinary bladder. So here it is one duct of vas deferens, here it is one duct of vas deferens, and they joins with each other with the help of seminal vesicles, which is the accessory sex gland, that is seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and Cowper's gland, that we are going to discuss later. So the joining of vas deferens and seminal vesicle, it forms the ejaculatory duct, which is again the most important feature in the next point. So vas deferens, when joins with the seminal vesicles, togetherly it forms the ejaculatory duct. So what is ejaculatory duct? Ejaculatory duct, here at the joining of seminal vesicle and vas deferens, it forms the ejaculatory duct. It is a pair of duct about 2 centimeter long structure which is formed by the joining of vas deferens and seminal vesicle. So both ejaculatory duct, it opens in the urethra of the prostate gland. Here the prostate gland is present, and that ejaculatory duct, it opens into the urethra. Here it is long urethra is there, that ejaculatory duct opens in the urethra, and in this region there is presence of prostate gland. So what is the importance of ejaculatory duct? That ejaculatory duct, it carries most important feature, that is the seminal vesicle fluid, and spermatozoa towards the urethra, the seminal vesicle which secretes the seminal fluid. Also, the spermatozoa which is carried by the vas deferens, they transfer it into this long structure which is called as the urethra. So let us come to know what is urethra. What is the structural peculiarity of urethra? Here it is urethra. The male urethra, it provides the common passage for the flow of both urine as well as semen, and the urethra, it is divided into three parts, or it includes the three parts. Number one, that is the prostatic urethra, the part of prostate gland where the urethra is associated. It is called as the prostatic urethra. What is prostatic urethra? The prostatic urethra, it is surrounded by prostate gland. And what is the importance of prostatic urethra? The prostatic urethra, it carries urine only. Then the next part, that is the membranous urethra. The membranous urethra, it is present between the end of prostatic urethra and the roof of penis, which is the major copulatory organ. Here the penis is there. The membranous urethra, it is present between the end of prostate gland and roof of the penis. It is called as the membranous urethra, and the importance of membranous urethra, it carries both urine as well as semen. And the last part of the urethra is the penile urethra, which is situated in the part of penis. So these are the parts of urethra. Number one, prostatic urethra. Number second, membranous urethra, and number third, penile urethra. Then let us come to know the parts of urethra with the sphincters. The urethra, it is provided by the two types of the sphincters. One, that is the internal sphincter, another one, that is the external sphincter. What is the composition of internal sphincter? That internal sphincter, it is made up of smooth muscle fibers at the beginning, and the external sphincter, it is formed by the striated muscles. And the importance of this sphincter is, function of this sphincter is to carry urine and semen. So it is about the urethra, the most important feature of the male reproductive tract. Then let us come to know the last and most important feature in the male reproductive tract, that is the penis. Here it is, penis is there. The penis, it is the male copulatory organ. Generally it is cylindrical, erectile and pendulous organ which is located in the pubic region in front of the scrotum. Here it is scrotum, here it is scrotum. So it is present in between, in front of the scrotum. And the previous structure that we are studied, urethra, that urethra, it passes throughout the length of this penis, as the urethra present inside the penis, and penis consists of three columns of erectile tissues. Ordinarily, that penis, it is a small and lymph-like structure, but at the time of sexual intercourse or arousal, that small and lymph-like structure of penis, it converts into the long, hard and erect structure due to the presence of the erectile tissues which are abundant with the blood sinuses. Blood flows in that sinuses and it makes that penis erect, so that penis, it is ready for the copulation purpose. So what are the parts of penis? The penis, it contains the two posterolateral tissues. Number one, that is the corpora cavernosa, and number second, median corpus spongiosum. As the urethra, it runs or passes through the corpus spongiosum, It is also called as the spongial urethra. So at the tip of penis, the enlarged, soft, highly sensitive area is present. It is called as the glans penis. Near the tip of penis, the corpus spongiosum, it is enlarged to form soft and highly sensitive glans penis, and around this penis there is presence of fold of skin which is called as the prepuce or foreskin, and the importance of penis is it helps as a copulatory organ which plays a significant role at the time of sexual intercourse. So in today's lecture we discussed about the male reproductive tract only, with its various parts like scrotum, testis, vasa efferentia, Epididymis, their parts Vasa deferentia, then ejaculatory duct, urethra, their parts, and the penis. So in next lecture we are going to discuss with the accessory glands, that is the seminal vesicles, then prostate gland, Cowper's gland, and the most important histology, that is the transverse section of testis. Thank you.